It's recording.
Okay.
Go there.
Okay.
Accident. It's alright, it's alright. Okay, I think it's on.
It just started recording because
It is recording
okay,
now.
Perfect. Oh, yeah. I can always trim it later. Perfect. Okay. Just leave it.
Yeah, it's good.
Thank you. All right. thank you for coming. I'm really happy that we finally get to present Hummingbot running on Serum and Solana Breakpoint. This has been years in the making because when we first started Hummingbot 3 years ago, that was always our intention to basically go to bridge between a centralized and decentralized worlds. Because back then, when we first started integrating to exchanges like Radar Relay or IDEX and EDEX, we all know those didn't work because the order book was off-chain, it was very expensive to trade, and so now, for the first time, now we can actually show a real, market-making experience on an order book centralized exchange. So I'm so happy. So before we do the demo, I want to explain a little bit about what Hummingbot is, for those of you who don't know, and also tell a bit about what the plans are for these. So Hummingbot is open source market-making software. Our goal is to build something that essentially looks like an operating system, an open source operating system like Linux, but focused on high frequency trading. And the reason you need that is there's so many different exchanges now. They're all different. A lot of them are not centralized, but they're all on different blockchains, and each of these exchanges have a different technical architecture. So if you're a trader and you're trying to actually access the entire market, because you're doing HFT, so you have to have a very seamless, error-free connection to that exchange, you might end up spending 6 months building that integration before you can start trading. That's a waste of time. So our goal is always to try to create something open source, where people can choose different exchange integrations into it, and different strategies into it, and we can build a public, open code base that we can all use. So as you can tell, we didn't spend that much time on the front end, but we did spend a lot of time on the back end. So that's why today, we have a community-operated code base where we have different teams and different people building and integration of different things. So today, I think Hummingbot is actually becoming, the infrastructure that's bridging centralized and decentralized. We've always integrated with centralized exchanges at the time we started. So we support over 40 different, officially centralized exchanges, but in the wild, there's probably at least 200 forks that we see in our reporting dashboard. On the DEX side, we really started this effort about a year ago, when we launched, our module called Gateway, which allows Hummingbot to integrate with lots of different DEXs, but those DEXs can actually reuse the TypeScript and JavaScript libraries. And we found that was important because, most of HFT is like Python, C++ stars. Similarly, Hummingbot is also Python. But we all know that the blockchain world, a lot of the developers like JavaScript, so the most advanced SDKs are always in JavaScript TypeScript. So we felt we needed to have this piece of middleware that would integrate into the DEXs. And that's kind of what allowed us to kind of catalyze the DEX integrations. So today on the DEX side, we support Ethereum and most of the other EVM chains. And thanks to our community-based model, we've had different teams for the other non-EVM chains, build and maintain integrations. Roboter.ai, Michael and the team over there, they actually built our Solana integration, and they're also going to build a Ripple one later on. We have another team called Community Finance that's built the Cosmos integration, and our sister company, Coin Alpha, who we originated from, they're about to check in the Near, Chronos, and DND integrations, and the team from Algorand is starting to work on Algorand. So because these are not EVM, you can't just clone the code and reuse it. There's some very significant differences between these different chains. I think that's where the community model really shines, and we're excited to support the entire exchange and blockchain. But the other part is strategies, because strategies are also open source in the Hummingbot framework. So we ship currently the code base ships with I think about 15 different strategies. So like market making, pure market making is our flagship one. Cross exchange market making, where you can provide liquidity to one exchange and hedge on another, is also pretty popular. We created a market making strategy based on the seminal Alvarado and Stoikov paper, which kind of uses more advanced math to determine how you should set your spreads. And then finally, we have a bunch of arbitrage strategy that basically arbitrage through different exchanges. But then we realized actually that these strategies are kind of like fixed, and you can set up like parameters. But we found that people who had the most success with Hummingbot, the people who are actually making money, are the ones that are actually designing and building their own strategies. So recently we introduced a component called scripts, which are kind of like, they're like very simple versions of strategies. Essentially one single Python file, you can define essentially all the logic that goes into it. And so recently we've had many people create very simple scripts that they can then use themselves or expand on, using other people's accounts. So that's why we're quite excited about. And so that's why we really focus on building a community. Ultimately, an open source code base is all about who's actually using it. And I think we have the largest community of quant traders and market makers in crypto. So a lot of small projects actually just run Hummingbot instead of hiring Jump Capital or Alameda to run the code base. And a lot of market makers actually run their operational problems because why would you want to reinvent the wheel if you don't have? So about a year ago, originally we were one company. We really believe that open source, if we really want to build a Linux crypto, it has to be its own thing. It can't be just like something owned by a company where that company has full discretion on how to change it and no one else does. So about a year ago, we spun off Hummingbot and gave control to it, to a new foundation, basically between islands, whose sole job it is to allow Hummingbot to be governed and steered by its community. So we issued H5 token, gave it to everyone who, about 1,000 people have used Hummingbot before, and we've had a lot of real organic governance since things started. So we paid bounties to developers to maintain different connectors, to add different strategies, and we also allow people to submit pull requests and use the H5 token to decide and vote if those pull requests should be merged. So are we making a lot of money? Not yet, obviously, but we do believe that as we grow the user base, if we grow the exchange base, because we're partnership with exchanges, we will start to monetize, and eventually the token will be worth something. But for now, I think I'm really gratified on is that the governance aspect of it is actually working. Because it's a code base of what we're using, and therefore everyone cares about how it's going to change. So that's why one thing initiative we're starting. This initiative we think will increase the user base. It will provide a secondary source of revenue, and also just provide lots of examples that people can use to actually build strategy with. We're going to start a developer bootcamp that teaches people how to design and create their own scripts in Hummingbot. We did a beta cohort in September. People like ordinary people, not even engineers. We taught them how to be a marketer. Not just writing the code, but learning the theory behind quant trading, how to manage risk, how to hedge, and how to basically make money. So we're starting another cohort later this month. It's a very hands-on program, so we're only have a maximum 20 slots for every cohort. But we're really excited to really teach people the dark arts of quantitative trading and marketing. So that's it. So we're going to now do a demo. And before we demo, I want to call out a couple things because we're very much a community-based project. First we had, and this event was really the product of a collaboration among lots of people in the community. For instance, Luis, who's business partner, who's a Hummingbot user, he's the one that hooked us up with this venue and had this amazing space to do this presentation. Robotter, Roboter.ai is the team that built and is maintaining this code. So they'll be the ones doing the demo. They're the ones running the bot. And finally, one thing we realized is the speed of the connection is incredibly critical once you create investors. And as we have another Hummingbot community member, Colin and his team at Centuries, we're providing a custom RPC endpoint that is allowing this market-making bot, as you'll see, to be done as fast as possible. So all of us are part of the Hummingbot community. All of us are trying to democratize HFT and build something that everyone can use, and really take the secrets of Wall Street and make them available to everyone. So with that, I just want to thank you for coming, and hope you like the demo.
Thank you, Michael. It was a very great introduction to what we actually want to do and our vision that brought us here. And so I think maybe just a little bit about us. We are Rover AI. This is Danilo, my hot jockey for this evening. Over here with my team also. If you want to talk, we'll be having some beers afterwards. And so the idea when I started with Hummingbot around a year ago was to build a training algorithm. The whole idea started for me when I was attending my master's degree in AI, and I figured that when I was doing some algorithms by hand, which we were taught by Optiver to do options market making and so on on the exchange, I figured I want to do this. This is awesome. It's a way to print money somehow. If you're smart. But still, I was looking for some way to really shortcut the whole route, to make it easy for me to deploy my algorithm, to connect to all these different exchanges, which was also a different, difficult part. And so I found Hummingbot. And then, as I was already familiar with Solana, because when you do DeFi and at some point get frustrated with Ethereum high gas fees, it's for sure that you at some point have to consider Solana, and that's what I did. And then, of course, I was a little bit astonished that there is no Solana connector for a centralized order book trading library like Hummingbot, which is weird. Like Solana, Serum, the first really functioning, decentralized, centralized order book exchange. Something had to be done, so that's what we did. We're going to do that. And we have been working on this, I think, since December last year. And what you can see here is, Serum, great site to have deep insights into several markets, what the market makers are, what the prices. You have some of the liquidity over here, and you can even see what addresses are trading actively. We're going to use this to show how our algorithm works. And this is another chart. So what we want to do is not only do regular market making, but at some point also do market making for smaller teams, have more sophisticated algorithms. That's where the script functionality comes in. And a few months ago, we were asked by a team which was launching their own token called Companion to do market making for them, because simply they couldn't afford the rates and the terms that the big market makers are giving them. What you can see here is the address HRM. It's our bot actively making the markets. There's some manual orders that have been set as a backstop. And then more closer to the bid price, you see how the bot automatically spread out, given our configuration, how much liquidity at what price should be there. And this updates roughly every minute, as it is still a low volume market. But this is also a parameter that you can basically set as you like. So, should we go into some specifics maybe? Okay, maybe you wonder how this all works. So, we have a gateway, which is a Node.js server, which is running on the premises of the customer. And this gives us an API, which we are calling here with our bot, to get orders, to post orders, basically everything that you would expect from a regular centralized exchange. And what this allows us to do, which maybe just call out as an afterthought, is if you deploy this gateway instance on the premises of your customer, you can allow them to store their private keys on their own premises inside this gateway instance. And everything that we are then able to do is use the API to trade with the wallet, and you cannot basically transfer any of the funds from there to any wallet. So there's an increased security also for customers if you're trying to market make for them, which I think a lot of customers appreciate. And yeah, and this is our bot. As you can see, we have integrated with a Telegram to have real-time updates on our phone. This is what you see right here in the log screen, is what's being posted roughly every minute to our Telegram group, where we are monitoring it together. And you can see there's which orders are being replaced. So offers the replace order flag, which allows us to atomically place orders and replace the orders. Such that we have always liquidity on the book. Never there will be a moment where liquidity is missing, because we cancel and replace the order in one transaction every time. Right. We've been running it since an hour now, I think. Well, an hour. You can already see there's some profit going in. We have made a big wide spread for now. But you can adjust it any way you want. Right now, this all works through the script, which is also open source and publicly available. You can adjust it for your token project, for your market operations. You can add additional intelligence to it. If you, for example, have maybe some alpha and data that you want to utilize, you can order the bot to either do only market making orders to provide liquidity, or also even to pay your trades if you have a more aggressive style of trade. So no matter what your profession is, what you want to use Hummingbot for, we got you covered. What we intend to do in the next few months is to further integrate this gateway implementation of Solana into the Hummingbot code base, add WebSocket support, so that we have also real-time updates as centralized exchanges for everything that happens on-chain. And given that we will have then exactly the same endpoints as any other centralized exchange, we will then be able to integrate several decks with every strategy that is currently available in Hummingbot, which is especially designed for centralized exchanges. Get this. And we are not going to stop here. We have now customers asking us to implement a Ripple connector. So Ripple Dex is coming up next. That will be first as a gateway implementation, so you have an API to talk to. You should then, step by step, also get a script implementation, a strategy implementation for Hummingbot. And after that, we are also working with mega markets, for example, which are releasing their V4 framework probably in a month or two. And will also finally have native isolated margin support. And isolated margin trading is also what Hummingbot supports with the third connector. And we also want to implement this as the third connector, which Roboter is producing. If, for example, you have one day.
So our code is open source, right? And so it's available for you. And actually, it's created like a dummy token, and we can also provide everyone here using our and we have also the Serum model. We're using that. And all of this connector. we have the bot running for quite some time. After some time ago, before stopping the bot, actually the bot was quite lucky and was able to have 70% of profit. And we have some interesting info here. So when the bot first starts, it looks like modest value, and then it starts to compare with the previous and the initial value. And we also have like kill switches in place, so if the bot like just 10%, we can configure all of this and we stop for you automatically. And we can also stop and, for example, start the bot using Telegram. You can call commands here, and so this will take a bit of time to work now because we have some logs here in place that I can show you. So this is the live logs, and usually, for example, we have 18 orders in place, so we batch 6 orders per transaction, so we can save with some time costs and also some fees. For example, for a very long time, market making, this will be considerable, although the total fees are very low. But as you can see here, this is the part where the bot takes a bit more time. But luckily, after some time here, I can show you some. Actually, all of these logs are running non-stop. So sometimes also, as we were enjoying here our peers, actually the bot was here, it's a market making for us, so it's really nice. And I would like to show you here very briefly about events. So as you know, Serum, we need to crack the market, so the market can then like close the transactions there, actually fill the orders that are open. So we are dispatching these events here. As you can see, we are dispatching several funds. So every time we have like one fee. After let's say 1 minute it runs again, and we will cancel orders that needs to be cancelled, settle the funds, so the funds can be returned to the wallet. And here we can see, for example, this is a transaction placing all of the orders inside of it. And we are also dispatching the consumer events and the match order events here, so this is actually tracking the market every time. So it's been pretty good. And here is like the award wallet, so we have like $150 there. But we, as Michael said, we have like a very big research company, so they won the last certification that the rest of the should be launching their token with them, doing market making for them, and this like new blocks from production. So as you can see, this is ready for a very long time for our customer, and it's working pretty well. So it's not only something that is theoretical possible, it's something that's already running in production. I think that's it. And,
Thank you, Olivia. One more thing I want to add, if you are a new project or you're launching for a token, or if you need some advisory from us, hit us up. We will also be happy to help. And with that, I want to conclude the presentation. Thank you very much again for coming and listening. And yeah, we will
So I think again, we're really a community project. It's all about really providing something of value to the world, and hopefully create something people can use. So we'll do some more demos. So we'll have this bot running. There's still a lot more. We'll be here for another half an hour or so. There's also another computer over there that's showing a arbitrage bot that's basically looking for opportunities between Uniswap and FTX. So basically, our Hummingbot is really connected to so many exchanges. The two core use cases are market making and arbitrage. But because I think there's sort of this long tail of exchanges and tokens that need liquidity and are kind of trading against one another. So I think for individuals and small firms, Hummingbot is a great tool to actually go and find opportunities to make money. So with that, thank you all for coming. I'm gonna start giving people drinks tickets, use them all up. So, yeah, thank you for coming. I saw the intro presentation yesterday too. It's really cool. Actually, that model over there is actually get over there. That one's creating BCC intro. On Solana, actually, on Solana, we found people that actually that so we
Is there like a lot of existing solution?
It replaced, but you didn't consider the fact that the price will be different and you need some more funds.
These guys are crazy. You can create your own trading strategies. It's a new thing they've introduced. It looks interesting. I assume it's similar. I don't know enough. Do you know what? And there's not. Yeah, it's my colleague. I work with her, Elodie. Yeah. What did you do today?